Welcome back. You're watching Morning Live. Thank you very much for staying with us. He has authored books such as Forget the Business Plan, Use the Short Model, Township Biz Fastrack, and Tales of an African Entrepreneur. Tiisetso Maloma is now back with yet another offering titled The Anxious Entrepreneur, a read that focuses on giving emerging entrepreneurs step-by-step anxiety-diffusing techniques to help them to become more creative and less anxious promoters. Tiisetso joins me in studio to talk about the latest offering. Good morning, welcome to Morning Live.
Hey, morning, man. How's it?
Okay, so I want to unpack very, very quickly for our audiences. What is your book about?
Well, The Anxious Entrepreneur. Well, I mean, entrepreneurship, it's a difficult job. We often suffer from, anxieties that come with it. We're always trying to achieve one thing or like many things, and then it doesn't work out. So I've realized that, when you're anxious, it means that you're not productive. Productivity could mean the same thing as creative. So it's about diffusing anxiety through trying to get yourself in a space where you're creative.
But it's such an interesting point that you're talking about entrepreneurship and being anxious, because I think there isn't a single entrepreneur who doesn't feel anxiety, whether that be towards the end of the month paying bills, whether that's the growth of your business. How do you diffuse anxiety in a way that doesn't impact on your creativity and your productivity? What is the simple steps?
Well, I mean, let me put it this way. As an entrepreneur, you've got goals. You want to sell this many products. As we know, reality never really happens the way we imagine it. And then when that happens, when those expectations are not met, we get stressed. We get sometimes maybe even depressed, anxious. So it's a matter of realizing, okay, now I'm facing these hardships. I need to sort of step back a bit, because when you're anxious, you tend to work on frustration tasks. So it's a matter of, okay, let me just maybe take a walk, go join friends, something like that. Yeah.
Okay, so it doesn't help, and I think you've got so many seminars now where there are people trying to help and engage other entrepreneurs on becoming successful. But some of the big mistakes entrepreneurs do is that they also compare themselves to other businesses and say, well, we should be here if we do this. Talk to me about that comparison thing, because I think that can also bring on anxiety.
Well, comparison, it could be a good thing, but mostly it's a bad thing in that what happens in your life, it's not what's going to happen in my life. So the situations are always a bit different. So it's a matter of not comparing yourself to others, but taking what you can learn from them and trying to apply to whatever you're doing. And
why this angle, though, from an entrepreneurial perspective? Because it's not something we often talk about, the anxious entrepreneur, and yet angst is part of being that pioneer.
I mean, I think, we always sold, the headlines, so-and-so is so successful. So I thought, I mean, I'm an entrepreneur. I go through my own anxieties. And let me write about it, because I've been, thinking of this concept for a while. I mean, and they get to a point where they just push me to, okay, maybe put a book about it, and I start researching, digging deep in my own experiences, searching in other people, and I'm thinking, well, this is a good concept for a book. So
because if it affects me, it must affect everybody else.
Yeah.
Why do you compare this to a music album?
The way I wrote it is that, the subtitle is Anxiety Defeats Creativity, and in turn, Creativity Defeats Anxiety. So what makes entrepreneurs anxious, it's a lot of things. So,
like?
it could be marketing, it could be maybe a situation at home, it could be friends, negative vibes, it's a lot of things. So I'm dancing around different topics that speak to what could make entrepreneurs anxious.
So, from your research, where have you found in this stage of entrepreneurship, entrepreneurs are the most anxious?
There's several studies. There's one called Entrepreneurs on Fire by, I think, Michael Freeman. He surveyed about, 272 entrepreneurs. And then he found that about think was it 118 of them are prone to some sort of mental illness, whatever. And when you compare that to like the general, anxiety in the world, it's about. The stats they're hard to, like get an accurate figure. They are about 3%. So the prevalence the prevalence of anxiety in entrepreneurs, by several studies shows that it's more than the general population in comparison.
Wow. Yeah. So there's a lot of anxiety when you're an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Okay, the author, Tiisetso Maloma, he's written a book called The Anxious Entrepreneur. You need to go and read it. It sounds incredibly interesting. He's also a blogger and an author. But if you're planning to start a business, maybe this is what you need to read. We take an ad break. When we come back, we'll be level.